I booked a $9,400 family trip to Japan for Dad's 60th, only to get a text, "We gave your spot to Ryan's girlfriend, she's more fun." I replied, "Got it." That night, I canceled the entire trip, flights, hotel, everything. When they returned, the locks were changed, the rent had tripled, and their cards declined at the coffee shop. That was just the beginning. I spent $9,400 planning a family trip to Japan for my dad's 60th birthday. Every detail had been carefully arranged. And then, out of the blue, I got a text that hit like a punch to the gut. "We gave your spot to Ryan's girlfriend. She's more fun." I didn't argue. Just typed back, "Got it." That same night, I went nuclear. I canceled everything, flights, hotels, the whole itinerary. Poof. Gone. By the time they got back, nothing was the same. The locks had been changed, rent was now 3 times what it used to be, and their cards got declined at their favorite coffee spot. And honestly, that was just the beginning. I sat staring at that message on my phone, watching those little typing dots blink like they were teasing me. As if the screen itself was warning me that more disrespect was coming. It was from my mom, of course. Written so casually you'd think she was texting about laundry, not tossing out 3 months of planning and nearly 10 grand of my money like it was spare change. "We gave your spot to Ryan's girlfriend. She's more fun." No. Sorry. No explanation. Just that smug little phrase, like she was proud of it. I didn't try to explain myself either. Just replied, "Got it." Cold. Clean. And then I made a move no one expected. I nuked the whole trip, every flight, hotel, and plan. Non-refundable? Didn't care for a second. I was the one who set it up. So I was damn sure the one who'd tear it down. That same night, I swapped out the locks at the family home. The deed? It was in my name anyway. They'd been living rent-free for 5 years, acting like they were doing me a favor. Laughing behind my back. Well, guess what? Now it was my turn to laugh. But let's back up for a second. I want you to understand how I got to the point where I could blow up a dream vacation, slap a triple rent increase on my own parents, and cut my golden boy little brother out like the dead weight he'd always been. It all started with one dumb idea, trying to be the good son. Dad was hitting 60, which felt like a big deal. I figured, what better way to market than taking the whole family to Japan? He'd always wanted to see the cherry blossoms in Kyoto before his knees gave out, and Mom treated sushi like it was a sacred ritual. Even Ryan, my younger brother, once said he dreamed of eating real ramen, not the stuff from plastic wrappers in college. So yeah, I did the thing everyone warned me not to do. I covered it all. Every cent. Flights, hotels, bullet train passes, even restaurant reservations. I juggled the whole itinerary while squeezing it between work deadlines. I spent weekends obsessing over hotel distances from shrines and shops, comparing ticket prices, and fine-tuning logistics like I was planning a military operation. And I didn't even treat myself. While I upgraded their flights to premium economy, I stuck myself in a budget seat and a tiny room in Osaka. Because I honestly believed this was what love looked like, self-sacrifice. But Ryan always had a way of reminding me who I was in our family dynamic. Not the favorite. Not the fun one. Just the guy who pays for everything. So when that text came, "We gave your spot to Ryan's girlfriend. She's more fun." I didn't feel hurt. I felt something sharper. I felt clarity. And clarity, in the hands of someone who's been used and dismissed for too long, is dangerous. They thought I'd just stay quiet. Smile through it. Play the role. But not this time. See, they don't guilt-trip you with love. That's too obvious. They hook you with guilt. And I bit down on that hook for years. My parents never straight up asked me to pay for things. No, they were more subtle than that. They'd say things like, "Ryan's doing his best, but it's just so tough for young people right now." Or, "You're lucky to have such a stable job, not everyone has that." And the cherry on top? "We're so proud of you. We just wish Ryan had your drive." So at first, I helped out because I wanted to. Ryan was my little brother. Helping him finish school felt like the right thing to do. I paid his tuition, bought his textbooks, even got him a new laptop when his old one conveniently died 2 weeks before finals. But that kind of help turned into an expectation real fast. 3 months after graduation, he still hadn't even bothered to apply for a single job. Said he was figuring things out, while spending every day glued to the couch playing FIFA. I'd come home from a 12-hour shift and there he'd be, feet on my coffee table, eating takeout I paid for, living in the house I owned. And Mom? She'd just say, "He needs a little more time. Don't be so hard on him." Dad? Didn't even look up from his iPad. "Let the boy breathe." He'd mumble, like I was the one causing problems. Then came Ryan's girlfriend, Taylor. Or Taylor, as she insisted everyone call her. She moved in just 2 months after they started dating. No discussion. No rent. She was just suddenly there, like a stray cat that made itself at home. She took over my kitchen, burned through my Wi-Fi, hijacked my Netflix. One night, I found her filming a TikTok in my bedroom, wearing my dress shoes. "I'm doing a character," she said with a wink. "Don't be weird." Ryan just laughed. "Dude, relax." She's funny. That word. Funny. It would haunt me. Still, I didn't say anything. I kept footing the bills. Because that's what family does, right? Because what would Dad say if I made a scene? Because I earn more than enough to share. When Ryan lost the job I pulled strings to get for him, after showing up late 3 times in his first week, I covered his car payments so his credit wouldn't go down the drain. And when Taylor totaled her old car, I co-signed for a used Mazda in my name. Yeah, I know. Idiotic. Then they both shocked us all by announcing they wanted to come along on Dad's birthday trip. And me? I didn't even hesitate. I reworked the plans, booked extra rooms, moved around my PTO. I did whatever it took to make it happen. And what did I get in return? We gave your spot to Ryan's girlfriend. She's more fun. That wasn't just rude, it was a revelation. That one line confirmed everything I'd suspected deep down. In their eyes, I wasn't family. I was function. Not loved. Not appreciated. Just a walking wallet. And the worst part? I'd let it happen. But they weren't finished with me. Not even close. The morning they landed in Tokyo, I got a message from Ryan. Yo, can you wire us some spending money? Taylor forgot her card and Dad says the exchange rates suck. I didn't respond. An hour later, another message. Come on, man. Don't be salty. This trip's about Dad, not you. I almost hurled my phone across the room. They'd taken my seat. My gift. My moment. And they still had the nerve to ask for more. But I stayed silent. Let them have their fun. Let them post their filtered stories and fake smiles, acting like we were one big happy family while I sat in an empty house, burning with a kind of rage I hadn't known I could feel. Then came day 5. That's when the hotel called. Mr. Walker, we're reaching out because the credit card on file for the group reservation has been declined. Also, there seems to be a guest staying in the suite who wasn't originally authorized. And just like that, the truth surfaced. They had replaced me with Taylor on the hotel list. Never told the staff. Used my card to pay for her stay. Thought I'd never find out. But I did. And that was the turning point. It wasn't the insult that broke me. Not the money. Not even being tossed out of my own father's milestone birthday trip like I was a forgotten carry-on. It was the quiet assumption that I'd just accept it. That I'd roll over like I always had. That's what pushed me over the edge. So I logged into my bank account. Flagged every charge related to the trip. Then I shut the card down completely. After that, I called the hotel back. Direct. Cancel the entire reservation. I told them. Remove all listed guests. And if anyone tries to argue or recheck in, call security. They're not authorized to be there. There was a pause on the other end. Sir? The manager said cautiously. They're currently still in the suite. I know, I said unbothered. They'll figure it out. When they finally got back home and found out what had happened, I was in the kitchen, stirring my coffee like it was any other morning. I heard car doors slam. Then shouting. Mom's signature high-pitched screech. Ryan barking something. Taylor's voice slicing through the noise, all venom and volume. I didn't move fast. I just took another sip, stirred again. Then came the pounding. Boom. 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 Open the door! Ryan's voice. We know you're in there. Still sipping, I strolled to the door, coffee in hand. Looked through the peephole. And there they were. The whole mess of them, standing on the porch, red in the face, hair a mess, looking like they'd just been chewed up and spit out by an international terminal. Their luggage was in a pile beside them. Taylor was barefoot, for some reason. I undid the deadbolt, and cracked the door just wide enough to make eye contact. What happened to our keys? Ryan demanded, his voice sharp. I took a slow sip and replied casually. Oh. You mean the locks I had rekeyed? Yeah. Those old keys don't work anymore. He scowled. Are you actually serious right now? Dead serious, I said, completely calm. That's when Mom pushed forward, flustered and dramatic. We just got off a 14-hour flight. We're tired. We're starving. You're trespassing, I said flatly. This is private property now. Taylor jumped in, voice thick with sarcasm. You're seriously locking out your own family? I held her gaze for a long second. Then said, You're not my family. Her jaw dropped. Ryan's eyes widened. Okay, wow. This is beyond messed up. We were stuck in Osaka with no money. He went on. No hotel. No Wi-Fi. Do you have any idea what that was like? Sounds awful, I said, folding my arms. Must be hard being stranded in a foreign country on someone else's dime. Oh wait, that's exactly what you did. His face turned crimson. You humiliated us. You canceled everything. We couldn't even grab a cab. Our cards didn't work. Nothing worked. Yeah, I replied. That's usually what happens when you commit credit card fraud. Mom gasped like I just slapped her. Fraud? Oh, don't be dramatic. I held up my phone and showed them the paused screenshot on the screen. The hotel manager's email, right there in black and white, unauthorized guest, charges disputed. Ryan, I said slowly. Did you or did you not add Taylor to that suite, using my name? He opened his mouth, But no words came out. Looked over at Taylor. She shrugged like it wasn't her problem. I stepped to the side so they could get a clear look into the house. Not that there was much left to see. The couch? Gone. The dining table? Gone. Every piece of furniture they used to sprawl on like it was theirs? Donated. The walls were bare. I'd cleared out anything they touched. It felt like exorcising ghosts. You cleared the place out? Mom whispered, stepping closer. Correction. I said. I cleared out my house. Ryan's fists clenched. We lived here. For years. Without paying rent. I said. Without helping. Without respect. Mom looked at me like I was the villain in a made-for-TV drama. We're your family. This is disgusting. You're punishing us over one mistake? I gave a short laugh. One mistake? You hijacked a trip I spent months planning. Blew through my credit. Replaced me on my own father's birthday plans because I wasn't fun enough. And now I'm the one being petty? Taylor rolled her eyes like I was being dramatic. You're mad because we had a better time without you. That's when I stepped outside fully and pulled the door closed behind me. You really think this is about Japan? I asked, lowering my voice. About one trip? They didn't respond. No. I said. This is about everything. Every time I put you before myself. Every bill I paid. Every year I let you live here, rent-free, while you laughed behind my back. Mom tried to speak. We didn't. You did. I cut in. All of you. And now? I'm done. Ryan shook his head like he couldn't believe it. So what, now we're homeless? No. I said. You've got 2 weeks. Rent's tripled. Utilities are your problem now. And the guest suite? Locked. He scoffed. You're bluffing. Taylor folded her arms. You can't just evict us. Actually, I can. I pulled the folded lease agreement from my coat pocket and held it up. It's all legal. Already filed. And your credit cards? I added. Declined this morning at the coffee shop. I got the alert myself. The silence that followed hit like a landslide. I turned to head back inside, but Ryan grabbed my arm. Wait, please, he said, voice cracking. You don't understand. I don't have anywhere to go. Taylor, she thought this trip would help bring us all closer. She didn't mean to hurt you. Taylor looked like she wanted to speak up, maybe deny it, maybe defend herself, but she stayed quiet. Ryan was crying now. And I looked at him. Really looked. And felt nothing. Not sadness. Not fury. Just an empty, hollow quiet. You were my brother, I said. And you traded me for a few laughs and a fun girlfriend. That's not family. I added. That's reality TV. Then I turned, walked inside, and locked the door behind me. Left them out there in the cold, in the wind, staring at a home that no longer had space for them. They came back to a new world, one I wasn't part of anymore. It took 3 days for the real fallout to kick in. That first morning after they returned? Total silence. Not a single door slam. No guilt-ridden texts. Not even a ping in the family group chat. I ate breakfast alone, a strong cup of coffee, a warm croissant, and the rare feeling of actual peace. It wasn't just quiet around me, it was quiet inside me. The kind that settles deep in your bones when something toxic finally leaves your life. But by the 4th day, my phone lit up. Text from Mom. Can we talk? I'm sorry about what happened. We all made mistakes. Please don't do this to your father. I didn't reply. Not because I didn't have something to say. I just didn't owe them anything anymore. For once, I didn't feel the need to explain myself to people who never really cared to hear me in the first place. Then the chain reaction began. Their credit cards? Blocked. Taylor tried to buy coffee downtown. Declined. Twice. I got the push alert on my phone and smiled to myself. Later that day, she posted a story. Some people are just vindictive. Then deleted it 5 minutes later. The rent? A week after the new lease terms kicked in, I got an email. Hi, we're struggling with the new rent. Could we discuss alternatives? It started with a notification from the family group chat. Just the usual, no name, no message. I ignored it. But something had shifted. Jobs, for one. Ryan, who had spent years lounging around in my home without holding a steady job, was suddenly picking up part-time work. A buddy from my gym told me he'd seen Ryan folding towels behind the front desk. Honestly, I didn't feel a single ounce of pity. By then, I'd moved into a small loft downtown. Exposed concrete floors, high ceilings, minimal furniture. No clutter from anyone else's habits. No reminders of people who never appreciated anything. No borrowed shoes kicked off in the hallway. No mystery leftovers taking up space in the fridge. I had a routine now. Wake up at 7, hit the gym, work from home, evening walks. And for the first time in forever, every part of my day belonged to me. There were no texts asking me to help cover groceries. No guilt-drenched calls begging for just a little something to get us to payday. No voicemails from Mom sighing. He's your brother, how can you say no? Just stillness. 2 weeks in, Ryan finally reached out. I know I messed up, the message said. I really do. Taylor left. Said this wasn't what she signed up for. I get it now. You were right. I stared at it for a long time. This came from the same guy who used to laugh at me for planning ahead. The one who said I was boring. That I didn't know how to let loose or have fun. And now? He was alone. Abandoned by the very person who was supposed to be more fun. Left to clean up a disaster without his personal ATM machine at the ready. I didn't reply. Then came the real hit, a letter from a lawyer. My parents were trying to claim partial ownership of the house. My attorney explained they were asserting they'd made financial contributions over the years. We requested documentation. So far, nothing. I laughed when I read the letter. Not because it was funny, but because it was so wildly pathetic, it didn't even deserve a real reaction. They'd always acted like anything I owned somehow belonged to them too. I could still hear my mother's voice echoing in my head. This is a family home, sweetheart. What's yours is ours. But now, ours didn't mean anything anymore. Another text from Mom followed. We didn't raise you to be this way. What would your father think? This time, I actually responded. You raised me to serve you. That ends now. And honestly, what shocked me the most wasn't their bitterness. It was how quickly everything unraveled without me. Ryan was now working long shifts just to keep his head above water. Mom started calling up old friends, the same ones she used to mock for having selfish, disrespectful kids. Dad? Nothing. Silent as ever. He'd been that way through every argument, every betrayal, every moment I begged for backup. He didn't speak up to defend me. He didn't intervene when things got ugly. He chose to sit on the sidelines with a cup of coffee and his comfortable neutrality. And now they were living in the world they created, a world where I didn't exist to clean up their messes anymore. As for me? I was stretched out on a couch I bought with my own money, in an apartment I picked because no one else had a say. Sipping coffee no one would judge. Living in a space untouched by guilt or expectation. For the first time, I wasn't being used. I wasn't anyone's safety net. I wasn't anyone's scapegoat. And the strangest part? I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. Turns out, I was never the issue. I was the solution they bled dry. Sometimes silence says more than screaming ever could. It's been 3 months since I pulled the plug. No more rent-free rides. No more favor because we're family. No more lying to myself that love means self-sacrifice. I thought I'd feel guilt. Or grief. Maybe loneliness. But I didn't. What I felt was peace. Something solid. Something quiet and unshakable. I don't wake up dreading the next call. I don't flinch every time my phone buzzes, waiting for the next ask wrapped in concern. The next. Just checking in. That ends with a request. It feels like I stepped out of a fog. And now I can breathe again. Last week, while unpacking some old boxes, I came across a dusty folder labeled family stuff. Inside were photos, birthday cards, and a stack of travel receipts, boarding passes, hotel bookings, restaurant confirmations. All of them under my name. It hit me harder than expected. Every family memory we ever made was funded by me. They called me cold. But I was the one who kept the lights on. I flipped through the photos. I was always the one driving, paying, planning, gifting. Everyone else? Smiling. Relaxed. Like happy tourists along for the ride, never once worrying about the cost or the effort. Back then, I thought that made me strong. Now, I see what it really made me. Invisible. They never truly loved me. They loved what I did for them. And when I stopped doing, the love disappeared too. Ryan hasn't messaged me since Taylor left. Through a friend, I heard he's living in a basement apartment now, doing food deliveries to stay afloat. And for once, I didn't feel smug. I didn't feel sorry either. I felt nothing. Because now, his life belongs to him. And that's how it should have been all along. Taylor wiped her social media clean. Deleted old photos. Unfollowed the whole family. Her idea of fun ran dry the moment the free ride ended. Mom sent one last message. We didn't raise you to be like this. We miss who you used to be. And I answered. You miss the version of me who never said no. He's not coming back. Dad? He stayed silent. As always. No anger. No comfort. No closure. Just quiet sipping, like he'd been watching from the sidelines all along. Never loud. Never cruel. Just absent. That kind of silence? It doesn't bruise. It corrodes. Eventually, I stopped expecting closure from him, or any of them. So I gave it to myself. One night I sat on my new couch, no TV on, no phone in hand. Just a glass of wine and the soft flicker of city lights outside the window. And for once, that stillness didn't ache. It felt earned. That night, I scribbled a note and stuck it to the mirror. I owe no one more than I owe myself. And every morning, I read it like a prayer. Funny how the ones who drain me now call me distant. Tell people I changed. Damn right I changed. I used to be the bridge they walked on. Now I'm the ocean they can't cross. A few days ago, Ryan's ex, Jenna, sent me a message out of the blue. We barely ever spoke while they were together, but I remembered her. Kind. Quiet. Different. You were the only one who saw through it. She wrote. The way they treated you, it wasn't right. I'm glad you left. You saved yourself? It hit me harder than I expected. Because deep down, I'd started to wonder if I really was the problem. But Jenna reminded me I wasn't crazy. I was just the first one to wake up. And for the longest time, I thought walking away made me selfish. Now I know, it made me free. Now I understand. This isn't cruelty. It's self-preservation. They were the ones who taught me that love requires sacrifice. But funny how it was always my sacrifice. Never theirs. They said I was being cold. I call it being clear. They said I had no heart. I call it healing. They said I was selfish. But only after I stopped letting them own me. And the best part? I don't hate them. I don't wish them harm. I don't sit here hoping their lives fall apart. I just no longer owe them anything. And that freedom? It feels like I'm finally breathing after years underwater. Next week, I'm flying to Iceland. Alone. It's been on my list forever, the Northern Lights. But I never made the trip. There was always a reason not to go. Someone else needed help. Someone else had a crisis. Someone else wanted a vacation, and I was the one footing the bill. But not this time. This time, it's just for me. Just because I want to. No guilt. No strings. No second thoughts. And when I'm there, standing beneath that glowing green sky, in the bitter cold air, miles and miles away from all the weight I used to carry, I'm going to say it out loud. I am not your safety net. I am not your plan B. I am not your bank, your backup, or your fool. I am me. And for the first time in my entire life. That's more than enough.